Good morning, students. So in 12th standard we have started first unit from the inorganic chemistry, that is metallurgy. So three steps are involved in this first metallurgical process, that is concentration of ore, extraction of crude metal, refining of crude metal. So in these three steps already we have explained. The first one, that is concentration of ore, and second one, that is extraction of crude metal, we have seen, isn't it? So once again I am revising. So concentration of ore is removal of gangue particles from the ore is called as concentration of ore. This will be done by four process, that is gravity separation or hydraulic wash or froth flotation method, leaching and magnetic separation. So first one, gravity separation, it's for oxide ore, depends on specific gravity, we can purify the ore. Second method is froth flotation, it is suitable for sulfide ore. The third method is leaching. In this method, to purify the ore, we have to add a suitable solvent. So depending upon the solvent, this leaching will be classified into cyanide leaching, ammonia leaching, alkali leaching and acid leaching. So next method is, that is magnetic separation. So this four topics we have discussed already. So next step we have seen extraction of crude metal. So this extraction of crude metals, this step also I have explained. So in the second class, that is, it will be done by two steps, isn't it? So one is, the concentrated ore should be converted into a particular metal oxide. The second step is, this metal oxide should be reduced to metal. Conversion of ore into oxide, and the next one is the oxide ore, reduction of metal oxides to metal. So first one, conversion of ore into oxide, it will be done by two processes, that is roasting and calcination. So roasting method, in that sulfide ores are we have used to take as example, in presence of oxygen and below the melting point of the metal, we have to heat the oxide, we have to heat the concentrated ore. So such a way we can convert the ore into oxide. Then calcination process, it is suitable for carbonated ores and hydrated ores. So is there any impurities are there means, so in the absence of air or in the limited supply, or when you heat the concentrated ore, impurities will be left behind, and otherwise impurities, the hydrated form or carbon dioxide gas will be evaporated as vapors. Okay. So next we have seen the second step under this extraction of crude metal, that is reduction of metal oxides to metal, isn't it? So this reduction can be done by, that is smelting process, reduction by carbon, reduction by hydrogen, reduction by metal and auto reduction. These five methods are given under conversion of this metal, reduction of metal oxide to metal. So smelting process we have seen, so, along with the reducing agent we have to add a flux, isn't it? But in the case of reduction by carbon, the metal oxide should be reduced. We have to choose the metal oxide. It should not form, the particular metal should not form carbides with carbon. So such a way we have to select. Then next we have seen reduction by hydrogen. For that condition is, that is the metal should be less electropositive than hydrogen. So next we have seen reduction by metal. So aluminium we have seen for aluminothermite process, that is for the reduction of chromic oxide. Chromic oxide as an example we have seen, isn't it? So some other metals, active metals like sodium, magnesium, calcium, these active metals also can be used as a reducing agents. Okay. Here aluminothermite process we have explained, isn't it? So chromic oxide can be reduced by a metal, that is called as aluminium, and we are getting chromium. Then auto reduction we have seen, there is no other reducing agent, isn't it? Automatically the concentrated ore we have seen as example cinnabar, by ordinary roasting it will be converted into a impure metal. So extraction of crude metal. So we got the crude metal, that is impure metal we have got, isn't it? So next step is we have to refine or purify this crude metal. So that's the last step, that is refining of crude metal. Before introducing this topic, So in between that extraction of crude metal and refining of crude metal, so two more topics are discussed, that is thermodynamic principle of metallurgy and electrochemical principle of metallurgy. The principles based on reducing agent. We have, for the reduction of metal oxide, we have to use the reducing agent, isn't it? So for the selection of reducing agents, these two principles are used, that is thermodynamic principle and electrochemical principle. Okay. So these two topics we can discuss after finishing this refining of crude metal. Okay. So if we have discussed this refining of crude metal means, so continuously these three steps we can finish. Okay. So refining of crude metal, that is purification of crude metal. So it will be done by, so some of the methods are there. Refining of crude metal. So under this, distillation, liquefaction, electrolytic refining, zone refining, vapor phase method. Okay. So this refining of crude metal can be done by these 5 methods. We can see one by one. So first method is distillation, liquefaction, electrolytic refining, zone refining. The last one is vapor phase method. Okay. So we can see one by one. Distillation and liquefaction is a short method. Okay. So distillation, from the word itself we can understand, by means of boiling we can purify this metal. Okay. So usually, so this distillation method is suitable for the metal which are low boiling liquids. Okay. So what's the condition? Low boiling metals, for example mercury, zinc, such type of metals can be purified by this distillation method. Okay. So what we have to do is impure metal. So after concentration of the ore, so we have extracted the crude metal. So this crude metal is taken for process. This crude metal may be mercury as crude metal or zinc as crude metal. It should be taken and it should be heated to evaporate. Okay. So we know the boiling point. So when it is started to heat, so at a particular temperature it started to boil, isn't it? So when it started to boil, it will become as a vapor, isn't it? So this vapor should be condensed to get a pure metal. But at the particular temperature, the impurities, it will not boil, isn't it? So the impurities will be left behind that particular container. So this is the shortest method of refining of a crude metal. Is it clear, students? So what is it? Distillation method. Important keyword is, so this distillation method is suitable for low boiling metals like mercury or zinc, mercury and zinc. Okay. So what we have to do? So these impure metal is taken and it should be heated. When you are heating, it will form as a vapor, isn't it? This vapor is condensed and we can get the pure metal. So impurities will be left behind that particular container. Is it clear? First method. So second method. So second method is liquefaction. Okay. So here what we have to do is, the impure metal is taken in a sloping hearth of a reverberatory furnace. Okay. So sloping hearth means, so what it will do? The impure metal, when it is taken in the sloping hearth, so when it is started to boil, usually, so in this case, this method of liquefaction, so impurities should have the high melting point, but the metal should have the low melting point. There is a melting point differences there. Okay. So usually this method is suitable for tin, lead, bismuth, mercury. Okay. So liquefaction method is suitable for purify which type of metals? Tin, lead, bismuth, mercury. They are having low melting points. So along with this metal, if there are any impurities, those who are having high melting points, so this can be purified by liquefaction method. So now I will explain the process. In a sloping hearth, therefore reverberatory furnace, the impure metal is taken. So we have to heat that particular impure metal just above the melting point of the metal. So not too much of temperature, only just above the melting point of the particular metal. So when the metal starts to melt, so it is kept in a sloping hearth, isn't it? The metal, it will start to melt and flows down. Okay. What will happen to the impurities means, so at the particular temperature, impurities, they will not melt, isn't it? So they will be left behind. So only the metal which is melt and started to flows down, it is collected, and after condensing we can get the pure metal. Is it clear, students? So distillation and liquefaction is almost equal, isn't it? So here in liquefaction method, so here it is boiling, here we are doing melting process, isn't it? So it is suitable for tin, lead, bismuth, mercury. This distillation method is suitable for mercury and zinc. Is it clear? So next, electrolytic refining, isn't it? So from the word itself you can understand. So it's a refining or purification of a crude metal, so using electricity. Okay. So electrolytic refining, not only we can use as example as copper, silver, zinc, these type of metals, copper, silver, zinc. Not only this, we can say some more examples also. Okay. So these metals can be purified by electrolytic refining. Okay. So this almost we can get 100 or more than 99% purest form we can get using this electrolytic refining method. Okay. So the basic of this electrolytic refining method is, so one should be taken as cathode, anode, and electrolyte should be used. Okay. So cathode should be taken as pure form. For example, if I am taking silver, so in cathode what we have to take? Pure form of silver. So if any other metal means, the pure metal should be taken in cathode. So anode means it is impure metal. So which metal should be purified? So here for refining, maybe if you are copper, if you need to purify means impure copper. So but the same time here cathode will be pure copper. Okay, same metal should be taken. So cathode, here I have example for silver. So here pure silver means anode must be impure silver. Next. So electrolyte, the salt of the particular metal. Okay. So here silver can be dissolved in nitric acid. So aqueous silver nitrate solution will be taken as a electrolyte. Okay. So what we have taken? Silver nitrate solution as a electrolyte. So you need electrolytic cell and all, you know, isn't it? So here we have like this, a glass vessel, cathode, and it will be anode. Here we have taken electrolyte, isn't it? So when we started to pass electricity, so what will happen is this pure metal will be deposited, will be moved towards the cathode, but in anode impurities will be left behind. So in anode, the electrolytic cell, we are having cathode, positive electrode and negative electrode, isn't it? So in cathode, pure metals will be deposited. In anode, so it is impurities will be left behind. So if the impurities are collected, it is called as anode mud. Okay. So anode, most in all the electrolytic refining process, so this pure metal will be deposited on the cathode. Impure metal will be impurities will be left behind the anode. So it is called as anode mud. Okay. So here when you are seeing silver electrolytic refining method, so in anode the reaction is maybe Ag will be converted into Ag plus. So this electron will be gained by this reaction in anode, this reaction in cathode. Okay. So in cathode, so when it accepts this electron, it will be deposited as pure silver. Okay. So this way in cathode, this pure silver is collected. In anode, impurities are left behind, that is called as anode mud. Have you clear? So electrolytic refining means these three terms are important. So in cathode, we have to take the pure metal. It may be copper, silver or zinc, whatever metal. So which metal should be purified, that metal should be taken. So anode, impure metal. If it is silver means impure silver. So electrolyte, the salt of that particular metal. If it is silver, silver can dissolve in nitric acid, so silver nitrate solution. So if it is zinc, zinc can dissolve in sulfuric acid, so zinc sulfate solution. So if it is gold means auric chloride. So like this, which acid can dissolve, so that salt of that particular metal will be taken in a solution form, that aqueous silver nitrate solution. So this is the reaction that occur in anode and this reaction occur in the cathode. In cathode, pure silver will be deposited. Okay. So next we can see zone refining. Okay. So zone refining method depends on the basic concept is that is fractional crystallization. Okay. So fractional crystallization. So we can say during this zone refining method, ultra pure metals can be prepared. So usually this type of zone refining is useful for silicon, germanium, gallium, so semiconductors, silicon, germanium, gallium. So these type of metals can be purified using this zone refining method. So one more condition is zone refining method should be done under inert atmosphere. Okay. So ordinary air is there means there will be presence of oxygen. So that there is a possibility of oxidation of the metal, isn't it? So to avoid that oxidation, zone refining should be done under inert atmosphere. Have you understand? So what are the points I have given in zone refining? That is, it depends on the principle is fractional crystallization. Ultra pure metals can be prepared. Then it is example we can say silicon, germanium, gallium, these type of metals can be purified by zone refining method. And one more condition, it should be done under inert atmosphere. So next I will explain the process. Okay. So zone refining method, the impure metal should be taken in the form of a rod. So as a rod form, we have to take the impure metal. Okay. So then, so over this rod form, a mobile induction heater is attached with this. Okay. So movable induction heater. Okay. So this zone refining method we cannot expect by once we can get within one time. It is not possible to get a pure metal. But zone refining method should be done more times. Not only one time. It should be take 2 or 3 times. If we are doing for a particular rod means finally we can get a pure metal. Okay. So here impure metal is taken in a rod form. A mobile induction heater is attached to this. Okay. So mobile induction heater. So when the mobile induction heater is fixed at one end, what will happen is So it will started to produce the temperature. So because of that, in this particular where we have fixed, that fixed region is called as zone. Okay. So in this region, the metal will start to melt. Okay. So when it is started to melt, so what we have to do is, so we have to move this after melting that particular region zone. We have to shift this induction heater to the next zone. It may be to this region. So like this, when you are moving to the other end of this rod, the impurities will be swiped from one zone to other zone along with the induction heater. So it will be swiped like this. Have you understand? So when this region, when it is heated, so what will happen? Automatically the metal will be started to melt, isn't it? So after melting, we are going to move this induction heater to the next region. Okay. Then immediately impurities are be coming along with the heater. It will not left behind. Only pure metal will be solidify afterwards, because we are removing the heat, isn't it? So that here pure metal will be solidified, but the next region will started to melt. Then from here also impurities are swiped from this region to the next region. So like this. So when we are doing zone refining method 2 or 3 times, so finally we can get the pure metal. Is it clear? So we have finished distillation, liquefaction, electrolytic refining, zone refining. So last one is vapor phase method. So this vapor phase method is given by 2 processes. Okay. So what we have to do is, in this process, the particular impure metal should be heated with a particular solvent. So otherwise particular metal, we here 2 processes are given, that is Mond's process for refining nickel, an important question. So next one is Van Arkel method for refining titanium or zirconium. So for nickel refining we have to use carbon monoxide. For titanium or zirconium we have to use iodine vapors. Okay. So the nickel and carbon monoxide, when they react together, it will form a volatile oxide. So this volatile compound can be decomposed. So afterwards we can get the pure metal. Okay. So I will explain in detail. So vapor phase method, it will be under this 2 it is given, isn't it? That is Mond's process for nickel refining. Okay. So in Mond's process, impure nickel is taken. As in this impure nickel in solid form, it is heated at the temperature of 350 Kelvin along with carbon monoxide gas. Okay, what's the temperature? 350 Kelvin. Impure nickel, it is heated with carbon monoxide gas at the temperature of 450 Kelvin. It forms a volatile nickel tetracarbonate, that is NiCO4 gas. Okay, what is it? Nickel tetracarbonate. What is it? Nickel tetracarbonate. Volatile, it is volatile. Okay, it can be easily evaporated. So this nickel tetracarbonate, in the next step, it started to decompose at the temperature of 460 Kelvin. So when it is started to decompose at the temperature of 460 Kelvin, so pure nickel will be formed, but impurities will be replaced. Have you understand? So using this Mons process, we can refine, otherwise we can purify the nickel. So impure nickel and carbon monoxide at the temperature of 350 Kelvin. So when you heat, it will form nickel tetracarbonyl. It is a volatile carbonyl compound. Okay, but the impurities will be left behind. They will not vaporize at this temperature. So we can remove the impurities. After removing the impurities, this nickel tetracarbonyl will be heated at the temperature of 460 Kelvin. Then we can get the pure metal and plus 4CO gas. Have you understand? So, it's clear students, Mons process. So, under this vapor phase method. So, next method is Van Arkel method. For titanium and zirconium. Okay. So these two metals can be purified using this Van Arkel method. So in this method, so titanium or zirconium, so it should be taken in an impure form, isn't it? So impure metal should be heated with iodine vapors at the temperature of 550 Kelvin. It will form same as like this Mons process. Here it is forming TiI4 gas. That is titanium tetraiodide vapors. So when the metal is formed as a vapor, nickel tetraiodide vapors, then automatically is there any impurities, they will not vaporize, isn't it? They will be left behind. Then we can remove the impurities. This nickel, the titanium tetraiodide. So afterwards, what we have to do? We have to heat it, isn't it? So this titanium tetraiodide gas should be decomposed at the temperature of above 1800 Kelvin. Okay, so temperature must be above 1800 Kelvin. So it will form pure metal and this iodine vapors are collected again. The iodine is used as a catalyst. Do you understand? So these two methods, the first one is Mons process for refining nickel. So second one is for refining titanium or zirconium. We are using Van Arkel method. So in both process, the metal which should be purified should be treated with a particular compound. For Mons process, we have used carbon monoxide. Here in Van Arkel method, we have used iodine. So temperature we have to note it. Then it is forming a volatile complex compound. So this volatile compound and will be collected separately. Impurities will be left behind. We can remove the impurities. Afterwards, this vaporized form of this particular compound will be decomposed at a particular temperature and we can get the pure metal. Is it clear, student? So with this we can finish the third step, that is refining of crude metal. Okay. So once again, refining of crude metal will be done by 5 methods. What are the 5 methods? Distillation, liquefaction, electrolytic refining, zone refining, vapor phase method. So first one, distillation. It is suitable for low boiling metals such as mercury and zinc. Next, liquefaction. So this is suitable for metals which are having low melting point, but impurities should be having high melting point than the metal. Example, tin, mercury, bismuth, lead. These type of metals can be purified. So next, electrolytic refining. So in this process, so we have to use 3 terms: cathode, anode and electrolyte, isn't it? So using electricity, we can purify the particular metal. So the purest form of metal will be collected at the cathode. Impurities will be deposited at the anode, that is called as anode metal. Okay. So next, here copper, zinc, silver, more examples are there. Next, zone refining method. Zone refining method depends upon the principle that is fractional crystallization. It should be done under inert gas atmosphere. So, example for the metals silicon, germanium, gallium. These type of metals can be purified by this method. Then we have seen the process also. Next, vapor phase method. It will be done by two processes. One is Mons process. Next one is Van Arkel method. In Mons process, we can purify nickel by using carbon monoxide. Here we can purify titanium or zirconium using iodine vapors. Is it clear? So next, after finishing this, the last page, some of the applications are given, isn't it? So uses you can study easily. So 5 metals are given. First one, aluminium. So you know what are the uses of aluminium. So aluminium, it is used for making cooking vessels. So as at least study 3 points under each uses. Okay. So then aluminium, it is used for making parts of aeroplane. Not only aluminium alone, it should be making with manganese or some other metal. It can form the alloy. This alloy is used for making parts of aeroplane, and it is used for cover the food items, aluminium foils. Okay, so it is used for the covering the food items. The wrap it is made up of aluminium foil. So it uses of aluminium, you can study at least 3 points. Next, zinc. Zinc uses we know, isn't it? So to avoid corrosion of iron materials, it should be galvanized. So for this galvanization, we have to use the metal that is zinc. Okay. So it is used for the manufacture of paints, rubber, cosmetics for these, and for the die casting of automobile and hardware industries. So these are the applications of zinc. So next we know copper. So copper is very useful in our day-to-day life. So it's for making coins, and it is used for making wires, electrical parts, isn't it? So it is also having applications, lot of applications are given. So at least you can memorize under each metal 3 points. Okay. So next it is given after copper, iron and gold is given. So we know that gold is a expensive metal. So it is used used in jewelry. And even gold nanoparticles, these are used in advanced in solar cells. Okay, so this gold nanoparticles, apart from this jewelry, it is used in even solar cells also. It will be used, and it is used as a catalyst also. Then iron, we know that, isn't it? In architecture, iron is important. Then iron pipes. So along with the particular metals, it is used as an alloy also in stainless steel, chrome steel. So these are even cutlery. So many items will be prepared by using this iron, isn't it? So study in 5 metals are given. So in 5 metals, at least 3 points you have to memorize applications. Okay. So now we can come to 2 topics I have left, isn't it? So one is thermodynamic principle, the other one is electrochemical principle of metallurgy. So what's the use of this electrochemical, these 2 principles? So we have to select the reducing agent for the reduction of the particular metal oxide or for particular extraction of the ore, isn't it? So usually for active metals, sodium, magnesium, potassium, for such type of active metals, so we cannot use carbon as the reducing agent. So already we have seen reduction by carbon, hydrogen, metal, auto reduction, these methods we have seen, isn't it? But carbon should not be used for the active metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. So for such type of case, we have to select the reducing agent. So such a way that, so for this type of metal extraction, aluminium for this and that, so we have to find a method for the extraction. Listen, for the particular metal should be extracted or separated. So we have to choose a method, isn't it? So that is electrolysis. Okay. So if it is very active metal, if we cannot use a particular reducing agent means, so we should select some special method that is called as electrolysis. Okay. So we know that according to thermodynamics, we know delta G0 is equal to minus NF E0. So we can see electrochemical principle of metallurgy. Electrochemical principle. Okay. So what I have told, why we are using, why this principle is given for the selection of reducing agent, isn't it? So according to Gibbs free energy, delta G0 is equal to, according to thermodynamics, it is equal to minus NF E0. Okay. So for the what's the spontaneous condition for particular reaction must be if delta G is negative, we can say this equation is spontaneous, isn't it? So if EMF value is positive, so delta G0 becomes negative, isn't it? So if E0 is positive, delta G0 value must be negative. So that such cases we can say this reaction is a spontaneous reaction. Okay. For active metals, so usually we know that in 10th standard also you have studied. When an iron nail is dipped in ferrous sulfate, copper sulfate solution, what will happen? Copper sulfate, the color of the solution is blue color. So when iron nail is dipped in that copper sulfate solution, so what will happen? Iron is more electropositive, more active than this copper, isn't it? So that it displaces the copper from copper sulfate and it will change as a green solution, that is ferrous sulfate. Okay. So what's the condition? That is, if active metal displaces the less active metal in particular solution. So iron, when it is dipped in copper sulfate solution, so when compared with Fe and Cu, iron is more reactive than copper. Then what will happen? This copper will be displaced and we are getting ferrous sulfate solution. Color of the solution will be changed from blue to green. So some other examples also given. So when copper is, when it is dipped in silver solution, silver nitrate solution, short I have given Ag plus. So automatically Cu will be changed as Cu plus and why? So copper is more active than silver metal. So it displaces silver from silver nitrate and you are getting Cu2 plus H. Okay. So next maybe when a zinc rod is dipped in copper sulfate solution, what will happen is zinc is more active than copper. So automatically it will be changed into Zn2 plus Z. Okay. So mostly active metals displaces the less active metal in a particular solution, aqueous solution. Okay. So here we are going to study a method that is electrochemical extraction of aluminium, that is Hall-Héroult process. Okay. So what's that method? That is electrochemical extraction of aluminium, Hall-Héroult process. So here usually from the word already electrolytic refining we have studied, isn't it? A cathode, anode and electrolyte must be used. So wherever this electrolysis process is there, so in that electrochemical extraction of aluminium means it depends upon the process that is called as electrolysis. So here also Hall-Héroult process is a method for the example of electrolysis reaction. So here cathode should be taken as iron tank lined with carbon. lined with carbon. Is it clear? So next, anode should be taken as carbon blocks. Then what we have to take? Electrolyte. Electrolyte should be 20% of alumina and some molten cryolite also added. Have you understand these three terms? So we have taken for Hall-Hérold process. So what is the use of this Hall-Hérold process? We are going to extract aluminium, that is electrochemical extraction of aluminium. Book back question. So cathode is iron tank lined with carbon, anode is carbon blocks, electrolyte 20% alumina and molten cryolite is taken. Okay. So next, along with this electrolyte, we are going to add 10% calcium chloride. So why we are adding this 10% calcium chloride is to lower the melting point of that particular mixture. Okay. So to lower the melting point of the mixture, so what we have to add? 10% calcium chloride. Is it clear? Okay. So now, so the temperature must be above 1270 Kelvin. So these are the conditions. What are the conditions for the electrochemical extraction of aluminium? So we are adding, we have taken cathode as iron tank lined with carbon. So anode is carbon blocks. Electrolyte should be taken as 20% alumina and molten cryolite is taken. So 10% calcium chloride is used for the lower the melting point of the temperature, melting point of the particular mixture. Okay. So now, so when this reaction, when electricity is passed, so usually according to this electrolytic refining, so the pure metal, otherwise aluminium will be collected at the cathode. So reactions we can see. Okay. So how this aluminium is collected at the cathode we can see. So first, ionization of alumina. Alumina formula Al2. This alumina, when it is ionized, it will form 2Al3 plus 3O2 minus. Is it clear? So what will happen? Alumina on ionization. So we have taken electrolyte as alumina, isn't it? So from this only we have to extract aluminium. Okay. So this alumina on ionization forming 2Al3 plus 3O2 minus. Okay. So next we have to explain the reaction at cathode and anode, isn't it? So at cathode, this 2Al3 plus, okay, so it will be converted into plus 6 electron will change this aluminium. Okay. So but in anode we are having O2 minus, isn't it? So this O2 minus will be changed into O2 plus 12 electron. Is it clear? So what we have done? So at cathode, this aluminium 3 plus accept 6 electron and it will be converted into aluminium metal. So this anode supplies that 12 electron and it is converted into oxygen gas. So in anode we have used carbon blocks, isn't it? So this carbon blocks will accept this 3 oxygen like this. Carbon will be accept here, when it is accept 1 oxygen, here it is 2 oxygen. So it will be converted into here 2 CO. Here it will be converted into CO2. Okay. So here plus okay. So after getting after the removal of 4 electron, so it has converted into CO2. So what we have to do is this equation 1 and this equation 2 and this equation 3. So these three equations we have to combine and write for the overall reaction. Okay. So this cathode reaction, this anode reaction and this reaction should be combined and we have to write the overall reaction. But when you are combining this, when you are seeing left hand side here 6 electron, here 4 electrons plus that is 16 electrons, isn't it? So to cancel this number of electrons, what we are going to do is, so this equation should be multiplied by 2. So that equation 1 into 2, so it will be 4Al3 plus 2 into 6, 12 electron. Okay, sorry. So 2 into 6, 12 electron. It will be 4Al. Is it clear? So next, this last equation should be multiplied by 3, equation 3. So equation 3 into 3, so we can get 3C plus 3 into 2, 6O2 minus, which gives 3CO2 plus 3 into 4, 12 electron. Okay, so now when you are seeing, when you combine, so this equation and this equation and this equation should be combined. So finally you can get, so when it is multiplied, let's go back. 4Al3 plus this equation. Equation 1 we have to combine and equation 2 we have to combine and last equation should be combined. Okay. So that is equation 1 we have written again 4Al3 plus this equation 3O2 minus plus 3C gives, right hand side we can write Al plus 3O2 plus 3CO2. Okay. So listen carefully. So once again, Hall-Herold process. So we can take cathode as iron tank lined with carbon, anode as carbon blocks, and we have taken electrolyte that is 10% alumina and molten cryolite is taken. Okay. So along with that we have added 10% calcium chloride. So why we have used 10% calcium chloride? To lower the melting point of the mixture. Okay. So after lowering the melting point of the mixture, when it is heated, we used to heat at the temperature of 1670 Kelvin. So when you heat, automatically the reaction will start, isn't it? So the temperature, when you are heating at a particular temperature, the reaction will be started. So in cathode and anode, first we have started the ionization of alumina. So alumina Al2O3 will be ionized to form Al3 plus 3O2 minus. Then at cathode, at anode we have seen the reaction and overall reaction also written, and finally we can get the aluminium in the pure form. Okay, that's the extraction of aluminium by Hall-Herold process. Okay, so clear students. So today in this class we have seen refining methods, isn't it? So what are the refining methods we have seen? That is liquefaction, distillation, electrolytic refining, zone refining, and last one is vapor phase method. So vapor phase method will be done by two processes. What are they? Mons process and Van Orkel process. Then uses also we have seen. What are the uses? That zinc, silver, zinc use we have seen, iron, copper, gold, these uses also we have seen, isn't it? So once again I am repeating from the first topic onwards, that is So first we have started this lesson from mineral and ore, isn't it? So first question, book back question, that is what is the difference between mineral and ore? So one more topic also I have to take, that is thermodynamic principle of metallurgy, which is related with the diagram that is called as Ellingham diagram. Okay. So first mineral and ore. So question is book back question. What's the difference between mineral and ore? So what is mineral? So it's a naturally occurring substance in which metal can be extracted, maybe in the form of oxide, sulfide, silicates, etc. Bauxite and china clay are the minerals of aluminum. 2 points. So right hand side when you are writing ore, so ore is also a mineral. It contains high percentage of metal from which metal can be extracted economically or profitably. It is called as ore. Example is bauxite is an ore of aluminum. Okay, 2 points. So over. Then afterwards, second question, a book back question. So what are the steps in metallurgical process? There are 3 steps. What are they? So when I am saying, you also can repeat. Okay. So concentration of ore, extraction of crude metal, refining of crude metal. Okay. So in first step, concentration of ore. What is the meaning of concentration of ore? So concentration of ore means usually when the ore is taken from the earth crust, it is having rocky impurities, dust particle, siliceous matters are there. So these are collectively known as gangue, G-A-N-G-U, G-U-E. Book back definition. What is meant by gangue? Okay. So this gangue, the removal of this gangue particle from the ore is called as concentration of ore. So this concentration of ores will be done by gravity separation or hydraulic wash, froth flotation method, leaching and magnetic separation. 4 methods are there. So among that froth flotation, book back question. So which type of ores can be concentrated by froth flotation method? So only answer is sulfide ores. If it is a 2 mark question, we have to write the example also. That is example zinc blende galena. ZN is PBS. Okay. Then inside that frothing agent, one word also. Frothing agent, pine oil or eucalyptus oil. Collector, sodium ethyl santhate. Depressing agent, sodium cyanide or sodium. These are the important terms you should understand. You should study it. Okay. Next, leaching. That leaching method. So first method, cyanide leaching is important. Gold, silver, these metals are purified by this leaching. These ores are purified by leaching method, especially cyanide leaching. So cyanide leaching means the particular ore, impure ore, along with that we have to add a solvent. The solvent must be sodium cyanide. So it will form a complex. Afterwards, this complex should be treated with a particular metal. Mostly zinc metal is used. Zinc is more electropositive. So that from this complex, our metal should be coming out. Then in this place, this electropositive zinc will be replaced. This way also we can purify or concentrate the ore. That is gold ore or silver ore can be purified. Okay. So this process, when we add zinc, zinc is more electropositive. It displaces the copper from its place. So this reaction is called as Siemens-Dyson reaction. Okay. So it's an example for a redox reaction. So next, acid leaching, alkali leaching, ammonia leaching we have seen. So next we have seen second step. First step metallurgical process, first step over. Second step extraction of crude metal. Under that roasting calcination is important. So roasting calcination, that is used for the conversion of ore into metal oxide. Okay. So roasting and calcination almost the same, but so here what we have to do, both are used for the conversion of ore into metal oxides. So here first case roasting, in presence of oxygen, it is suitable for sulfide ores. So here only absence of oxygen, limited supply of air. So it is used for carbonated ore and hydrated ores. Okay. So next we have converted ore into oxide by roasting and calcination. Afterwards, so this oxide should be changed into crude metal, that is reduction process. Okay. So for this reduction process, we have studied the method smelting, reduction by carbon, reduction by hydrogen, reduction by metal, auto reduction. So we have used reducing agent as we have used carbon, hydrogen, metals, isn't it? So these are all used. Carbon monoxide also used as a reducing agent. So anyhow, by using this reducing agent, we are reducing the metal oxides to metal. So we have got the metal, but this metal is not pure. So the last step is we have to do the refining process, purifying process. This purifying process should be done by liquefaction method or distillation method or electrolytic refining, zone refining, vapor phase method. So this 5 headings also we have seen, isn't it? So liquefaction method, it is suitable for low boiling liquids. Next one, liquefaction method. It is suitable for the metals which are having low melting point than the impurities. The next, electrolytic refining. So we can get almost using electricity, we can purify copper, silver, zinc, such type of metals. Zone refining for semiconductors, ultra pure metals can be purified. We can get. Next, vapor phase method, it is used for under the two processes are given, that is Mons process and Van Arkel process. Mons process, it is used for the refining of nickel by using carbon monoxide. So next, Van Arkel process, it is used for titanium and zirconium. So here iodine is used as a catalyst. Is it clear? So next we have seen one more, some of the applications we have seen, isn't it? So what are the applications we have seen? That is aluminium, zinc, copper, iron. Next, so these are the metals it is given. So gold also it is given. So at least when you are studying, so you can memorize 3 points for 3 mark question or 2 mark question. So memorize at least 3 points. So in a book back question, so use of zinc is asked. So give more importance to use of zinc. Okay. So here in refining methods also, zone refining, it's a book back question. So as it is you can study, but give importance to the key points already I have said. Then Mons process for the refining of nickel, that is also a book back question. As it is you have to study. No need of short answers and no need. So as it is only 5 or 6 lines, but give importance to the equations. Okay. So next, zone refining and Mons process as a book back question. We have to study others also, but give importance to this. Okay. So next we have seen electrochemical principle of metallurgy for the extraction of aluminium. For the extraction of aluminium, that is done by Hall-Herold process, isn't it? So using this Hall-Herold process, we have seen cathode as ion tank lined with carbon. Carbon blocks are used as anode, and electrolyte we have used 10% alumina and molten rhyolite is used. We have added 10% calcium chloride to lower the melting point. So finally, aluminium is extracted. Have you understand? So in this today we can finish this topic. One more topic, thermodynamic principle, we can study in the next class. Okay.